creativity is not fun. It isn't just a sudden illumination where an idea comes down upon you and then you write it down. That is not creativity. Not just creativity. Creativity can be hard, it can be painful and troublesome and frustrating. Creativity is not just when everything just comes to you like that, like with the snap of a finger, and then you write it down or you do something with it. Because you may not always get the ideas instantly. And sometimes you can sit for 30 minutes or an hour or days and not produce anything. And that is part of creativity. It doesn't mean that you have lost your spark or your creative gene, because it happens for everyone. Everyone experiences times of stagnation or inertia in creativity. But sadly, when the ideas wane, most people, sadly, do quit at that point or give up and assume that they have lost their spark. And that is not true. It is painful to get over such periods. I have definitely tried that. Many days without doing anything. And you want to be so creative. You want to create good stuff. Write epic or lyrical poems. Write cool stuff or produce valuable stuff. But for days, nothing happens. And you'll just have to accept it. Accept not that you can't produce anything, but that you have to push harder. Because you can still produce. You just have to keep going. You have to push through. Be disciplined. To be able to sit for 30 minutes or an hour without producing anything. And keep trying. Keep trying to think of something. No, don't go into a downward spiral where you get mad at yourself and you start swearing at yourself, or you begin to think of lots of other stuff, everyday stuff that is totally irrelevant for what you're trying to produce at the moment. Or you begin to browse on your phone. That definitely will not help in re-energizing that creativity. You just have to sit and think in silence. At least for me, creativity happens in silence. And you just gotta try to continue to walk the creative walk. Write down stuff. Write down some words that could be part of the poem. You may delete some of them or them all, but you won't just sit idly. You have to be actively engaging with what you're trying to produce. Actually try to produce something and not just sit and wait for something to happen, for something to come. Because mostly when something feels like it has just fallen down from heaven, a sudden illumination, divine illumination, then it is mostly because we have been active already in trying to produce something. And then, because we have showed to our minds that we want to be creative and create something in this specific area, then our mind will begin to work. And eventually something will be created. You have to dedicate a lot of time to your creativity. You can't just jump into a sofa and think that you'll produce 3 lines of poetry in 5 minutes. I can spend an hour writing only 2 lines of poetry. So there's no efficiency in creativity, and you should stop thinking that you can't be efficient and think in terms of, if I write 1 line of poetry in 5 minutes and I then sit for an hour, then I'll be able to write 12 lines of poetry. Sometimes it can help to quickly divert your attention to another creative project of yours, or write down the ideas that come into your mind that are irrelevant to your current project of work. Like you're thinking about creating a dinosaur, drawing a dinosaur, but then you quickly think about a great shape for a bee, or a good face for a bee or a dog in a cartoon or something. Then quickly do that. Or not quickly. There's no quickness in being creative. But then do that and then come back. You can lose your attention by doing that, but sometimes that divergence can actually help you, and you can incorporate the thing you diverged to create. Then you can incorporate that into your initial projects, and in that way then get on with what you're working on. Anyway, I wish you a fantastic day. Enjoy the weather. Enjoy God. Try to be creative. Goodbye.